This video is further instruction on how to use Google Classroom. After you've created a class, invited students, and posted an announcement, as well as filled out generic information about your class, there are other capabilities you can use. Just as an example of some of the things I use my Google Classroom for. Again, when you log in, you're taken to this basic screen that is right over here. And this is a list of all the classes you've created, as well as a list of how many students are in each. And if I want to jump right to a class, I can click this menu button in the top left, and I can jump right into any of these classes, or I can go back to the main class here and choose from a list. So just to show what I use it for, I make a post every day, or at least try and keep up with a post every day with what we did that day briefly explained in bullet points, and as well as posts, handouts linked from Google Docs usually. Sometimes I'll upload something directly. If you do upload something like a PDF, it is automatically added into your Google Drive under your Classroom folder, which I'll just search out here. There's the Classroom. And inside here is all the classes I've ever made, including that test class. There's the quote-unquote course outline I uploaded last video, and so I have access to all of this stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't really organize them nicely for you. So there's all the different handouts I've used for my night school math class, and if I want to organize them, I'd have to do it myself, or I can just leave them in there and leave the Classroom interface as the means of organizing them. So what I'd like to do, I've already shown how to make an announcement. So there's a few other capabilities here where you can create an assignment or a question. So I'll create an assignment first. The assignments are great because I can provide students with all the information about an assignment. This is an assignment. Complete it. And give it a due date, as well as a time if I wish. I'll choose tomorrow, it's due. That's not tomorrow, that's Tuesday. Tuesday, it's due. I can also attach files from my Google Drive. I can search out anything from my Google Drive, and I have an option here where I can let students view the file I've provided. If they can edit the file, well, this is a PDF, they can't change anything, so you'd want to attach a Google Drive. Or you can make a copy for each student. Make a copy for each student is hugely useful if you want them to fill out a template online. So a essay planner, or just some collaborative ideas where they want to put their information into a Google Doc and submit it. That's when you choose make a copy for each student. So I'm going to leave it as students can view the file, and I'm going to assign it. And it pops up in my stream as the most recent thing. Notice it says 0 not done, and that's because I still have no students in my class that have accepted my invitation. If they did accept my invitation, it would tell me how many students were in the class, and that would be the not done. Let's say I make another post, and I want to make sure that they can see the assignment at the top at all times. What I would actually end up doing would be enter the post. This is a post, and post it, and then I can actually click these dots on the assignment, and I can say move to top, and so that will keep my assignment at the top in the forefront. There's also a listing here on the left of all the assignments that are pending, and in this little menu there's a work option, which is all my different assignments from all my different classes that are pending at the moment. I like entering unit tests in as assignments because it automatically creates a calendar attached to your classroom, and when you have an assignment with a due date, click on the About line, and you can open in Google Classroom, or you can view the same Google Calendar in the Classroom interface. For every assignment due date, it automatically creates an event in your calendar that students have access to that show that assignment being due on that date. So this assignment, it's not actually an assignment, it's just actually a reminder for students that their test is coming up. When you want to mark an assignment, you can either go through work, and you can click on, let's go to one that I've actually already distributed, and I can click on a student's name. I can also decide what it's out of. Let's say this is out of 50. Update. The downside to using online marking through Google Classroom is that you can't use multiple criteria. There's just one overall grade. I will show in a later video about more advanced uses how you can use a online rubric called a Gubric to mark, but it moves outside the classroom interface once you've actually assigned the work. So that's creating an assignment, and I will return to my test class, and I'm also going to create a question. So here's a question. The question can also be graded, but this is usually meant to facilitate classroom discussion. What is the meaning of life? Answer my questions. Set a due date. The thing is, you can't see student responses until the due date's actually passed. It's a limitation that I've noticed the last time I attempted to use a classroom. There's also some selectors here that our students can reply to each other's answers, and whether or not students can actually edit their answers. Let's turn all of those on, and then I'll ask the question, and it appears just like a regular posting. If I click on it, it provides me with a list of responses, or a list of at least students that have yet to respond. I can also go back to the question itself from this window, provided you are connected to the internet, which I am not at the moment. There you go. I can comment on it if I wish, or I can edit the question, and I can also do that from my class stream. So again, very, very useful. And of course, once you've done something here, it's not set in stone. I could go back to my first class and I can edit it. This is great for some reflective teaching where you can go back and change the original questions. Even if the students don't notice, you notice for the next time you may want to use this. Which brings me to the last capability of what you can do in the stream, which is to reuse an old post. So if I click on the plus, and we can reuse a post. This gives you a list of all the different classes that you've taught in the past, and this is a great new feature that just came around in September 2015, where if I wanted to use a post that I posted in a different class or in a previous run through the same class, I can select that class and it gives me a list of all the postings, including anything that's in the drafts section. And I can reuse that post. And it'll also, I have the option of creating new copies of all attachments, which I recommend you do. That way if you change something, it doesn't get all wonky on you. And I can post it right away, or if I want, I can actually save a draft. And this is something you can do with everything. Assignments, questions, and regular announcements. I can save as draft. And then up here at the very top of your stream, there's the draft section, which students cannot see. This lets you plan in advance, so you can actually create your postings and leave them in the drafts, and then when the day comes around, you can actually click on it and change things or what have you, and then actually click post. Oh, it looks like someone's actually joined my classroom. This will actually let me demonstrate one last thing. So, Mr. Sampson is a keener, and he likes to join classes. He doesn't know who's running them. And he's actually answered my question. So let's click on the question. And there's his response. To win every single basketball game is the meaning of life. Thank you, Mr. Samsa. And I can post a response to him, and other students can post responses to him as well. I can also add a grade here. That's about a 87. And then I can click return. And I can give him a private comment. This is the same thing that can happen with student assignments. I can say, well done, and then return his feedback to him. That's about it for this video. I hope you found it useful.